Today we'd like to take a look at the new application we've discovered called Calendar Sync Plus. I've given you information below where you can download it, and this is the main screen that you'll look at here. There's two buttons at the bottom you can start with. One is Sync Now, which we'll get to a little later, and Clear the Status. So you can see where this one did record it at this date and time. I'm sending from Outlook to Google. I've got a date range, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And I'm going to go ahead and clear it. Just clear that screen out. You can go down the side here and you've got some menus. You can expand the menu and it shows you what they all are, or you can just collapse it, which we'll leave it for during this video. And here you have what's new in this version, configure the calendar sync, about calendar sync, help, and also exit the application. We're going to go here to set it up. It's very convenient. You first select profile. I've never found anything in there but the default profile, so I'll leave it like that. Next, you've got Sync, Outlook, Google, and Options. We're going to go from left to right and look at each one. First is Sync. I've got mine to sync from Outlook to Google. You can also choose to go from Google to Outlook or sync both ways, whichever way you'd like. So just choose the setting you like. You can sync in a range of dates. I've just set mine for approximately 1 month before and 1 year after today's date. You could also do a fixed date. If you just want to have a date starting in one period and going for a year or 6 months, you could do that. I don't quite see the need for that, but you could if you wanted to, and to change those dates, you just hit the little calendar and find your date. Set mine back to make it the range of 31 before and 365 afterwards. Interval, you can set it to go whenever you want, daily or weekly. Mine is set to go every 2 hours. I could change it if I wanted to run it up or run it down. Could change the different number of hours, but I'm going to leave mine set as 2 hours. Just hit save. It tells you it's saved. You say OK. Then you can go back to it. Let's go back and finish. We'll go next to Outlook. You tell it your default calendar, which is what I've got. Mine is the Outlook application. I don't use Exchange server. Next, default profile is all you need. Mailbox and calendar. You can choose others if you have any. I do not, so I can't really tell you what that looks like. Once you click, it takes a few seconds to cycle through, and when it's finished, we'll run it back. Okay, and that took a good 30 seconds for it to finish out and cycle. I would hit save, but I don't want to. I'm going to click it again and just hit save on that. Again, it tells you it's saved and it goes back to your default window. We'll go back to the settings. We've finished now with that. We could clear it. I would be very careful using this, because if you clear the Outlook calendar, it'll wipe out your calendar that you've got. So I would be very careful about that. Google, same thing. There's my email address. You can just hit add an account. It'll ask you to log into it. It'll ask you for your password. It'll say, do you give it rights to do it? And you say yes, and you connect it. Here's your calendar. I have a couple in mine, and I just chose Run, which is my main one that I use. You can get Google Calendars to show all that you've got. Again, clearing and resetting, you can wipe out your calendar, so be very careful there. Once you're finished, you can hit save, but we're going to continue on to Options. Just a few in here. If you want to set a category to your appointments, you can. I've not found a need for that, and by the way, you can take a look and hover over any of these question marks, and it'll tell you what the set colors do or what the different things do when you hover. I also want to add everything into my appointments, my descriptions, my attendees, description, reminders, add events. I don't care about disabling these items down here, but you can if you'd like. You could even skip private entries. Once you're done, you click Save. That was successful. Now I'm going to run mine manually right now to show you, so I'll just click Sync Now. And we'll wait for a minute while it runs. First it looks up your Outlook entries, then it'll do your Google entries, and it'll be finished. We're going to pause. There you go. It just finished, and as you can see, it did what we asked it to. From Outlook to Google, the date range that I had given it. There are 613 entries in Outlook. There are 613 in Google. They didn't have to delete any. They didn't have to add any because I had already synced this before. It completed, and it took 51 seconds. The first time you run it, it'll take a lot longer because it has to compare all those 613 and put in a lot to Google if they're missing. Once you're done, you're finished. and you can close down the application. I hope this helped guide you through Calendar Sync Plus a little bit. Use it. Let me know how you like it. Have a good day.